The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially completed this year's OTA and mandatory minicamp period, and there has been a couple of players that are really starting to break out and stand out to this year's coaching staff, and they believe they have a couple of players that are positioning themselves to break out this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now in this video, what I'm going to do is actually break down two of these players that I believe have a chance to make a massive difference for the Steelers going into next season. However, before we start this video, I do want you guys to comment down below two players of your own that you believe have a chance to break out this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether it's a rookie, a second-year player, maybe a veteran, someone they just brought in as a free agent. Let me know in the comments who you think could potentially break out this year and turn into a star for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. Now, the first person we need to talk about when it comes to standing out to this year's coaching staff throughout minicamp and OTAs, it is Euale. This guy's coming over from the New England Patriots, and he's honestly a very good two-gapping defender. I think he's going to play a lot this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he's not much of a traditional zero technique type of guy, but he is a very solid two-gapper. Okay, we're going to discuss what that means in just a second, but when you look at his play style, he's gonna fit in perfectly what the Pittsburgh Steelers do, right? Obviously, they run a 3-4 type of defense where you got some edge rushers and Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, and then you got your front three of the defensive line. This will probably be Keanu Benson, you probably have Cam Hayward, and then this will be either Derek Harmon or Euale. I always say his name wrong, but I believe it's Euale. Now, this dude, beautiful two-gapper. What does that mean? So, in run defense, he is extremely dynamic, and you can play, right, this gap and this gap. You got your A gap, or actually B and C gap here, I guess you could say. He can two-gap this so well. Look at him keep his eyes on the running back at the backfield, disengage, and go make a tackle. When it comes to run defense, this dude is such a good player. I don't think he's a 3-down type of guy, but if you want to ease Derek Harmon into a starting spot, this is someone that can help out almost right away. Look at another big-time play here. And actually, let's go back. So now he's almost a zero technique. A zero technique is essentially when you line up right over the center. I don't see him doing it too often. He's usually right outside the center or outside the guard. But again, he can play that A gap. He can play that B gap and just read and react to what the running back is doing. And again, in minicamp thus far, he has continued to showcase this ability every single practice. Now, again, it does get tough to understand how good these guys are until those pads really come on. But again, the coaching staff is more than pleased with what he has added to this team already, and he could even be a starter. Again, if and only if they want to ease Derek Harmon into the system. Ultimately, I think the Steelers' favorite thing about him is his versatility among the defensive line. He can play in a ton of different positions. And what does that mean, right? Again, I don't see him play that zero technique too often. I don't think you're going to need him to with Keanu Benson. But he can play outside the center. He can play outside the guard. He could even play a 4-eye, which is, outside of the tight end, or inside of the tight end, I should say. He can do that, as he's doing right here. Again, this dude's versatility screams off the page, and his ability to play multiple different positions. Look at him hold the edge here. He's playing that cutback lane. The most dangerous thing in football, that cutback lane, because as all these defenders are biting down to that initial rush angle, boom, that cutback lane is wide open. He two gaps. He plays the outside over here just in case, the bootleg, but also plays the cutback lane for the running back. And look at him get off this thing, explode through, make a tackle. Again, the positional versatility is something that is so good. I think that is going to be huge. Bringing in a veteran that can do multiple different things, run stuffing abilities. Again, I'm very, very excited about what this man can bring to this football team, especially when it comes to, a defense who finished the season last year with the top 15 defense, 6th in yards per rush allowed, and 12th in total yards allowed per game. I think he's just another guy that can help fill the lane, fill the gaps, and play multiple different positions for them. No longer having Landon Roberts, not having Larry Ogunjobi anymore. I think they're going to need a guy like him to rotate in right away and maybe even be a starter for them. So he's been the biggest breakout thus far along this defensive line, but there's also another one. Now, really quickly, before we kind of break down the new standout offensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I do ask a little bit of a favor from you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Most importantly, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you are new, it is free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the entirety of this year's offseason. What does that include? All of training camp, all of preseason. We're going to be breaking down some all 22 coaches film for you guys as well. And then when it comes to regular season, we got you guys covered. Make sure you guys are joining the family. Turn on post notifications. That way you're notified every time we post a video. And with that being said, let's kind of break down another standout from this year's OTA and mandatory minicamp. It is no other than Calvin Austin. This dude has already been named the clear-cut number 2 receiver for this football team, and a lot of that comes down to the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers loves to take tops off the defenses. You have DK, you have Calvin Austin, and then you have a route runner, in Robert Woods and Roman Wilson as well. But Calvin Austin is just a little bit different of a playmaker after the catch, but also has the speed that they can utilize every single play, right? Look at this one here. Safety is bit down, right? You have 2-eye safety look. This guy's playing way over to the left side of the field, which means this is the only safety we're really caring about if we want to throw this ball to Calvin Austin, right? So watch what Calvin Austin does. As they're playing so high up, we got, a double mug look with the linebackers. And look at this. Calvin Austin gets outside leverage on the initial DB, and then boom, once he gets that safety to kind of open up his hips to the sideline, boom, he attacks the middle of the field. He's got leverage because now no longer is that DB backpedaling, and boom, throw the ball up, watch him go get it, and watch him make a great play. If this was thrown a little bit farther down the field, that's probably an easy touchdown for Calvin Austin. But again, this dude is really becoming a dynamic weapon for this offense, and now that Aaron Rodgers is here, good luck stopping him. Another big time play here as a quarterback. The first thing you always look at are these safeties, right? Since you have such a great player getting down the field, if you can get one of these guys or two of these guys to bite down a little bit, maybe on a shallow cross over the middle, then boom, now you have a one-on-one target down the field with speed. Let's watch how this play breaks down. Once again, you're going to see Russell Wilson do a great job kind of manipulating this team. He's going to stare down this tight end who's crossing the middle of the field. Once again, we have that deep crosser behind the safety. We're trying to get behind that safety. And as Russell Wilson looks here, the safety plants that left foot into the ground, and we understand now he's getting behind. Boom, great pass. And again, not actually the most perfect pass in the world. Probably want to lead this more to the middle of the field. But man, again, Calvin Austin can stretch this field, and he can really become a dynamic playmaker. Now, according to a bunch of media members in Pittsburgh, the coaching staff, they have named Calvin Austin the number 2 wide receiver, and that means a big year is coming for him. His fourth year. So, could be a breakout year for Calvin Austin. So him and Daniel Euale, I believe his name is, have been really good standouts thus far in camp, and look for more guys. Roman Wilson had a little bit of some hype here and there. Caleb Johnson looks really good. The Pittsburgh Steelers are getting better each and every single day. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button. Who do you think could potentially break out for the Steelers this season? And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.